Plug on this, guys, with the 25mm cable. Into the system. Hey guys, Paddy Extreme Auto Caravan and Camping with you again today. Another off-grid setup. Traveller. Love these caravans, really do love them. Been working on them for years, know the groups well, and they're just built well, and they hold their value, these vans, and a lot of people are doing them up, as with old mate here. So this one here, huge, 1100 watts of solar, 1.1 kilowatts, that's heaps. The customer did the research on this and he chose the panels to put on the roof, and we've managed to get 4 of the 175 energies and another 4 of the 100. So that's a monster amount of solar, guys. So today, bit of an overcasty, kind of cloud flashy day. It's here and there. I saw 990 before, so it is a little bit behind the clouds, but we'll do the best we can and see what readings we get for you guys. Either way, I'm really excited about this setup. Slightly different than what we normally do, due to the fact we're running 2 of the Orion DC chargers in this one. We've got the space to do it, and I designed the system for this specifically because I knew where everything could go on this. So, you know, ventilation, got cooling, got circulation of air in here, because the solar controllers and the DC charger are all in this location, as with the batteries. We've done a complete rewire of the factory Traveller's average setup. We'll get into that later. And we put the Victron mains inverter charger over here. So we're talking a really close distance. It's about 1.5 meters. And this thing, and I've just done all the tests before the video to show you guys what this thing can do. Now, to put it into perspective, we all know we've got 3 chargers, yeah? You got mains, solar, and your vehicle. When we're free camping, we're very heavily reliant on the vehicle and the solar. Obviously more solar if we're parked up in one spot for a long time, and that's where it's at. That's why we try and maximize solar. Putting a heap on the roof is the best thing you can do, and have an external Anderson plug so you can run a fold out panel for, you know, if you park in the shade or you want to boost your power. You can never have too much solar. So the specs on this are as follows: 560 amp hours of power pool, custom made lithium batteries, and Good old Victoria over there. Thanks, Paul. Doing a good job with his batteries once again. I can't fault these batteries. I load them right up, as you'll see when I do the test on this again, and they just handle their power. They are amazing. Very happy. So thanks, Paul. I've gone for the 2 separate strings on this. So we've got an 80 volt string and an 80 volt string. Shading is not an issue on this roof. There is nothing in the way at all for this. So very happy with the outcome on the roof. So 2 strings, 2 80 volt strings. So 4 in series, and we're running 2 Victron Smart Solar controllers networked together. Running the 30 for the smaller setup and running the 50 amp on the larger setup. And we're nowhere near those limits, which is great. There's headroom there. And we're running, like I said, the 2 Orion 30 amp DC to DC chargers. I've got a small little 1575 Victron solar controller there to take care of a side Anderson plug, because we're not running a like a Red Arc DC charger or an Energive that has that solar input. We've got our own little solar controller taking care of that, which has Bluetooth, so it's monitored separately. Everything's all wired in, rewired neatly. We've got the Victron 3000 Multiplus inverter charger pumping in 120 amps from mains if required. And we've got the Turbo Touch 50 up there, so he can monitor everything. Every little aspect of this van's power consumption is going to be shown on that. Solar, mains in, mains out, history for everything. The solar consumption, the solar production, everything is going to be seen on this. It is on the VRM portal. What that means is I can remotely monitor it and I can make changes. So if there needs to be a software update, or I need to tweak something for whatever reason, or if the customer has a query on something, I can log on to it remotely from anywhere and troubleshoot it, or fault find it, or update the software if there's an update available. Really good system. When you're running all of the Victron stuff, you can do that with this. So very, very cool. Now the charge rate I'm getting from the vehicle, 60 amps. I mean, we've had to run, because we're over that 50 mark, we run the heavy duty Anderson plug on this one. It's quite a long run from the vehicle to here, so we've gone for the 25mm thick cable on the 120 amp Anderson. So that's a next size Anderson plug up. So quite a large setup there, but the results are here. And we don't have a volt drop on the input of these DC chargers. And that's the problem with a lot of setups. You're getting that voltage drop in the input, they're dropping out. You know, it's too thin of a cable. You need to go big or it just won't work. And that's the case of this. This is huge. And I'll show you guys the charging that happens. So DC to DC charging from the vehicle, solar as well. So when you're driving, you've got the ability, this has the ability to put in like 120 amps or over 100 amps. Solar and DC charging combined. So what does that mean? That means I can fast charge these batteries. If they were depleted to zero, you know, minus 560, right? 0%. Well, if I'm getting 100 odd amps from the car, 120 from the car, we can do some quick maths. 4 to 5 hours, guys. 4 to 5 hours, I've fully charged a 560 ampere hour battery bank from the vehicle in the sun. That's insane. That is like, it's over 1500 watts, guys. That is really fast charging. So when you're able to do that, you can manage your power like you wouldn't believe. So when you're free camping and you want to run the air conditioner overnight for the whole night, and you wake up and, I don't know, it's overcast the next day and you've used 50% of your power, well, you know, the solar's still going to put in a quarter of its energy. The vehicle is going to put in 60 per hour. You've got these backups. Now, because we've gone the Victron Multiplus, this has the power assist. This also has the ability to run small generators and not have them clip off like they always do. And you can throttle the input. So if you've got a little, you know, Honda 2 that's only capable of 1800 watts or something, you can set this to pull a maximum of 1800 watts from the input. And if you were to turn on the microwave, air conditioner, toaster and run everything, it'll use the most it can from the generator without making it clip, and the rest of that power comes from the batteries. It's a very smart setup the way we do it here. So kettle on, microwave going, air conditioner going, that would definitely make the generator go click and turn off. We all know that. Everyone's experienced it at the caravan park. When you've got a system like this, that goes out the window. That never happens because you get to control whatever it pulls out from the power point. So even if it's a 10 amp power socket and you're at a farm stay or a shed or wherever, and you run one of those little inline amphibians that, you know, will choke your power to 2400 watts or 10 amps. You would set this for 9 or 10 amps, and that means the most it'll ever pull from the plug is 9 to 10 amps. So that doesn't mean that you only get to use 9 or 10 amps in here. It's 2,500 watts. You use beyond that. You can use that power plus the Multiplus's output. So you've got the potential for like a lot to be used, and that is the beautiful thing about these Victron systems. Really love doing them. You've got to have the power system to support it. You've got to have the battery capacity and the battery quality to support it. So these PowerPool Scouts, these can discharge 250 amps continuous per battery, right? They've got a stupid, like, crazy peak. You know, I'm not interested in peak. I want to know what they can continually discharge. So each battery on this, guys, has the potential to run that inverter. So what that means is if, I don't know, these batteries are down to 1 or 2% and one of them decides to shut down before the other, it doesn't matter, because if there's a dump load, it's going to be put on that one battery and that can support it. It's got a 250 amp continuous discharge, and that's what's required, and that's what I wanted, and that's why I'm happy to keep using these. They're the best. I love them. So once again, guys, I've rewired this. I'll show you the videos. I'll give you zoom ups and all that, close ups, and you can see it. So this whole panel on the Travelers is, you take it off, it's quite messy behind it. We've redone it. I haven't gone to town and gone crazy on it, but I've just neatened it up and made it a lot neater, put some labels on some things. So everything's still as it was. This is an overlay system. This will work in any van you can think of, all right? It's not just limited to Travelers. As you guys have seen my other videos, we fit this on any van, motorhome, whatever. This is an overlay system. So what that means is this will work on top of your factory original system. Everything will work as it did. The main difference is, well, you're going to have a lot of solar, you're going to have a lot of battery storage, and all you've got to do is open up that door, press a button, bang, mains power on, microwave on, air conditioner on, all your factory outlets are live next to your bed, outside, so induction cookers, Thermomix, air fryers, hair dryers. This one has a washing machine, everything, even the 240 volt element. You know, I get asked this heaps now. Even the average 240 volt element that's on the Swift 500 series ovens, like this one has, will run, and it draws bugger all. And with the amount of solar that this has to replenish the power, knock yourself out, go nuts. You won't have to worry about it. This is free camping, and this is how to do it. This is the standard, this is where it's at, and it just works. Now, in this one in particular, we give the customers the option. This one has a 3-way fridge. So you guys have seen my other videos, and this has a Suburban hot water service. What that means is both of those items should not be run from the inverter. Because it's the automatic fridge, it senses when mains power is on, so it would automatically flick over to mains power. So if you were to turn the inverter on and the fridge is plugged in, which it isn't switched on, it'll sense power and go over to that. Now, old mate's a bit cluey, he understands the system, so he actually wanted to have his hot water service and his 3-way fridge off the inverter as a backup only. Call it the emergency backup. What that means is, because he's got so much storage and he's got so much solar and he's got so much replenishment power, he understands that and he's going to manage it. So that means if I put this hot water service on, full of water of course, and turn it on, it's going to pull about 2,000 watts. So his inverter can run it, his solar can replenish it, and the batteries will run it. You can't leave it on indefinitely, but he can manage the power. So if he runs out of gas, at least he can put his fridge over to mains power. That only draws, you know, about 300 watts on mains. So he's got the ability to run his fridge off of mains power from the inverter on mains while he's free camping, while he goes and gets some gas bottles. So, you know, gas is quite expensive out in the bush, we all know that. It is purely on this system as a backup, and it's only because the customer understands how his system works, and that's what he wanted. See, this is customized, guys. That's what I do. It is customized to the customer. He wanted it that way. I'm happy to do it that way. He understands the ramifications of if he leaves the hot water service on, you know, the little black switch outside, or if he leaves the fridge on AES. He understands that when he puts the inverter on, they will come on if they're left on. He leaves them off. He only does a lot of free camping, so that's going to remain on gas, and hot water service is going to remain off and run on gas. The other thing too is, if your 12 volt element in your 3-way fridge is horrible, okay? if it is, most of them are, Anderson systems to keep it cold and all that sort of stuff, it's average. We know there's always issues. Well, you can turn the inverter on this setup and put your fridge on mains power. So the 240 volt element in the fridge is now running from your batteries, and because it only pulls about 300 watts, well, you know, it's putting in 1500 from the engine and solar. So you are charging while running a 3-way fridge from mains power. Crazy. But like I said, guys, this is purely customized. The customer wants that fridge to be able to run from the inverter, as well as a hot water service. So that's the only sort of difference on this one compared to most, and that's about it. I'll send some videos up, I'll set this up, I'll do some big tests like I always do. We've got the microwave going, and yes, guys, we did put the Harrier Plus on this, so we removed the Ibis 3 air conditioner, and he's gone for the Harrier Plus. So that's a more efficient air conditioner compared to the old Ibis 3 roof clunker. You know, these are an inverter style air conditioner. They ramp up, ramp down. They've got night mode. They're very quiet. They're very efficient. I love them. I have one personally. They do a great job on the larger vans. Harrier Light for the smaller vans. Ibis 4 is very similar to this inverter style as well. There we have it, guys. All right, now we'll get the microwave going. Got the Harrier Plus running on 16.3 fan. Just double check that. Yep, okay, cool. So 16.3. Double check. Cool, she's on. All right, back to the screen. Air conditioner's running. You can see what we're receiving from the sun at the moment. It's cloudy. Sun's kind of poking it out now and then. So we, had over 1,000 watts before. Try and get this on video so you can see it ramp right up and get some consistency, but don't know about that. Either way, we'll deal with that in a minute. So I'll whack the microwave on now and we'll get this up. Now these cupboards are pretty bare, guys, so no kettle, but what have we got here? We'll go 20 seconds. Oh, someone put a donut in there. There's only one way to test it. So what are we pulling? Bugger all. So air conditioner and the microwave at the same time. No dramas. You can see the AC loads there. You can go well above that, as you know. Oh, the sun's coming out a bit better now. Oh, donut's ready. We'll get that going. So the next one I will do for you, I reckon, will be, we'll go and start the engine and we'll see some big charge come in. Actually, before I start the engine, I need to drain this battery. You guys can see it's pretty much full as a goog. So it's going to ramp up, then ramp down really quickly. We don't want that. We want to get the potential like I did earlier on. So, and you guys didn't catch that. So I'm going to, I don't know, drain these batteries somehow. I'll probably turn the solar off, which we can do with the Victrons. You can log into them separately and turn them off. I'll shut them down. I might run a heater or something. I'll try and find something I can really suck the juice out of it. I might put the AC on flat out heat. That'll really suck something. And we'll try and get this down. Right, so we'll go heat and I'll crank this up. We'll go 30, let that change over. And then I'll go turn these solar controllers off and we will get a 0 here shortly. All right, I've managed to work out how to drain the battery. So I don't have a kettle in here. I don't have a toaster. The cupboards are quite bare. So we will put the AC, like I said to you guys, I'm gonna put it on 30 on heat. I'll flat out, this thing will just chomp the power. And that's what we kind of want. So I'll do that. But I'm also gonna put the element on. We'll go the element and then we'll see what that ramps up to. It should be well over, surely over, 2,000 watts, and we'll try and get this number a lot lower than what it is. We'll suck some power out of it and then we'll fire up the engine and we'll see what we get from the vehicle and the solar combined. Cool bananas. Got the Harrier Plus running on heat. She's blowing out some hot air, that's good. So we'll put the that one on. So what are we pulling now? So back to the screen. All right, cool. I will turn this dial on so you guys can see it. So we'll go, oh, this camera, there we go. Hi, that's that element. She's gonna be sucking a bit, I reckon. Oh, there we go, that's cool, that's what we want to see. Now let's put the microwave on. This donut's gonna be well cooked. All right, get Get that loading up. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. Big power. Look at the flashing light. These can run in overload for quite some time. It's about 30 minutes, guys, if you read the book. But look at that current draw. Beautiful. Still running the air conditioner. So just to recap, guys, air conditioner on flat out heat on 30. You can see it. That was the microwave then, and that thing there is on flat out. There it is there. I'm going to turn that off now because that'll, yeah, they get warm quite quick. So we're back to just the AC, running on flat out heat. They're not the most efficient on heat, as you can see, guys. I've said this before in my videos. The Harrier Pluses, reverse cycle air conditioners, great, but look what they pull on flat out heat, all right? A lot. They're very thirsty on flat out heat, and that is why we have stuck in the diesel heater on this one. There we go. So microwave, that 3 items running. You saw the pull. Now I'm going to start, I'll do the test. I want to drain more power from this, all right? So we need to drain a lot more power to this. So I'm going to let this run for a bit, and then I'll re-edit this, and we'll try and get this number down a bit so we can start the engine up and we can get this number with solar and the vehicle going. So I'll end up turning the solar back on, guys. It's going to take a while, guys, so I'll put the element back on now, just see what we get out of it. We'll just let this run for maybe an hour or so. Okay, guys, I've waited long enough. I'm an impatient man. I've just turned the solar back on. The voltage is down enough. I'm going to start the car up and we'll see. Now, I'm not going to edit this, guys. I'm going to do it live for you so that way you can see. So I'm going to start the engine up and watch these numbers change. Take note of what they are now. All right, so just solar, guys. I'll actually turn the master switch off and the inverters off as well. That way we get a true charge rate of everything. What's that? So just solar, there we go, guys. Just solar, dappled light today. Like I said, I'll take a few photos of the sky so you can see what we're dealing with. And we are behind cloud now. It's kind of in and out once again. But I'm going to go start the car. Take note of this. All right, guys? Take note of that. Look there. I'm going to go and start the vehicle up. I'm going to leave this recording. I reckon that's the way to go. And then I'll walk. I won't walk with it. I'm going to not edit this at all. I'm just going to zoom in for you guys so we can get it all live. I'm going to run outside. I can see 700 and something watts, 52.8, and it's getting brighter, which is good. All right, here we go. Engine running, just on an idle, guys. All right, I'm only going to let it idle. So I'll have a look at these DC chargers. So they've lit up now. And let's see, there is a delay for them to turn on. That's in the programming. I think I did about 1 minute to 2 minutes. But just take note of that charge rate there. Whoa. There we go, guys. Now that's the DC chargers kicking in. All right, let this thing ramp up. See what we get out of it. How good's that? That's serious power, guys. So there's that delay. All right, now that can be programmed in the Orions, in the DC chargers. So they're working together in sync. I don't know if you can see that number. I'm now going to pause it and zoom in on it for you. How's that? That's fast charging. All right, that's the engine running and solar, pumping it at the same time. I'm getting over 100 amps from charge. That's crazy, that's ludicrous. All the way from the alternator, some 8 to 10 meters away, guys. Really, really cool to be able to fill up your lithium batteries with that sort of number. And that's idle, guys, idle. So it's going to jump up, and you know, I've got, like I said, it's cloudy day. It's in and out of sun. That's going to hit close to 1100 watts. So that's another 300 to 400 watts coming in on top of that, guys. This has major potential to really, really fill up these lithium batteries. This is doing it right. This is free camping. This is filling up those batteries at warp speed, it's a redundancy thing. If you've got a crazy overcast day or a week ahead of crap, you've got the ability to replenish these batteries so fast. And that's from the generator as well, or mains power. You know, 120 can come from the shore, guys. 120 amps. That's monstrous. So theoretically, you could charge these batteries at over 200 amps if you were to run all three: sun, vehicle, and mains. We're not going to do that, but definitely solar and DC to DC charging, which is right now over 1500 watts, you know, any day of the week. Look at that. Very, very cool. So even if I were to put the AC on, all right, so I'm going to go back to the inverter. So if we go to turn the AC on, this is how easy it is to turn the system on, guys. Right, so that's the air conditioner on now. Let's turn it on and touch it. We'll go 16 and we'll go 3 fan. So let that ramp up. Okay, go back to the main screen. It's easier to see that one. So we've got the engine idling at the moment, and I will wait for this to ramp up. You can tell when the AC's ramped up because obviously under AC loads right there, that number is going to go up to that sort of 600-700 range like the Harriers do. I don't know if it's going to do it. It's quite a coolish day. Either way, I'll let it run and we'll see how we go. Donut was definitely warm. Alright, cool bananas. Harrier is ramped up and she's running on cool 16, I believe. There we go. Engine's still running. But as you can see, the batteries are full as a goog. And that's the chargers ramping down. So it's a smart system, guys. It's only going to put in what is required at any given time. That's how the system is tuned. So if you run the engine, which we're doing now, I'm charging this battery, guys, at that rate. And the air conditioner's going. So what does that mean? Well, if it's stinking hot, 40 plus degrees, and I don't know, you're heading to the red center and the road's belching hot. We all know how hot the blacktop gets. Well, these guys can just pull on over, press a button, turn the air conditioner on flat out 16, get in their car and drive, and know that not only are they filling up their batteries, but their van's going to be nice and cold when they arrive at their camp. How nice is that to open up your caravan door and have all your cupboard work nice and cool? You get that radiant heat from the road, you know, and it just comes up through the fourth floor, even insulated vans. You feel that heat, and then you get that heat soak throughout your van. It takes forever to get rid of. You know, you got to open up your windows, and that's all fine. These guys, they don't have to worry about that anymore. They can run this air conditioner 40-degree day. Solar's pumping in way more than what the air conditioner can do. Even that's one good thing. But then you got the DC charger putting in another 60 amps on top of that. This is crazy amount of charge rate. To put in 53 amps on top of running, guys, on top of running that air conditioner, that's crazy. You could run this, you could drive all day. You could wake up at 6 in the morning, turn this on, drive for 12 hours, and you will not use any battery capacity. You won't use anything. You will arrive with a fully charged battery and a nice cold van. That is free camping. Last test we'll do, I'll plug in shore power, I'll plug in mains, and we'll throttle he's got a 10 amp amphibian on this, so I'll set it to about, I reckon, 8. So what you'll see, guys, is this one here will light up, and you're going to see the charger kick in initially, but it's going to back off really quick because this voltage is already quite high, which means obviously the battery's full. But just take note of what happens here, all right? I'll plonk this down again, and we'll do it live, unedited. Maybe I've learnt my lesson from last time. I can zoom in on this. Here we go. Oh, here we go. That's all plugged in, and we'll put the breaker on, main breaker. I think it's in his cupboard here. Alright. We'll wait for it. And that little red box will light up. There it is. Now let's see what it decides to pull, and let's see what it says. So I've set it for an 8 amp max. However, look at that charge rate, really jumped up real quick. So it's over 100 at the moment. It's only using 700 from the grid. Now I've set it for a maximum of 8, so it's got the potential to go over 2000, but it's not. And like I said, guys, it's not because the batteries are full. It's only using what it needs. Now take note how it's matching it. All right, obviously the rest is a little bit of DC, but it is matching it. All right, so what that means is it's working out what's going on here, and it's matching the loads, the AC loads. So it'll only ever pull what's required from the from the inlet and match it up. Obviously, if this battery was low, then a lot of energy would be going into this battery here, as well as running all the loads up to whatever I set it at. So like I said, I've set it for 8. Even if I set it for 10, the number won't change. The most it's going to pull is 2,400 from the input, but that won't change because obviously the battery's full. Very hard to test when you've got so much solar. So there we have it, guys. You can see it's still matched up. This will move quickly to absorb and then to float and go into the storage mode. And then it's going to say assisting and pass through as well. Very clever system, guys. So it knows what's going on at any given time. Now, when these are on, I'm going to turn mains off now, all right? I'll do it from the breaker in here. I'm going to turn it off. I don't know if you can hear it. The air conditioner's still running, all right? I'm going to show you how quick the transfer switch is in these, and it's that quick. This will disappear, and then all of a sudden we'll be pulling power from the batteries for the air conditioner. So that's the air conditioner running. I'll turn this breaker off. You listen to this. Breaker's off. Power's disappeared. It doesn't even blink. It is that quick. So that was the transfer from mains power straight to battery. So now we're pulling from the batteries. But because we've got so much solar, we're still charging, guys. Massive charge rates here on top of running the air conditioner. So we're now free camping again. There we go. We also did a Whitetail alarm system on this one, guys, with the optional GPS tracking. Really good if you guys leave your vans in the bush. You want that added peace of mind for security. You know, it locks the brakes, flashes the light, sounds a really loud horn. Protect all your belongings, protect your asset, and know where your van is at any given time just on your smartphone. Very cool stuff from Tony at Whitetail. If you want to hit him up for a GPS tracking and an alarm, definitely hit him up.